Step into the unknown with the shadow frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Welcome, listeners, to episode 152 of The Shadow Frequency, the podcast that dives into the eerie corners of the unknown, where the paranormal whispers truths too strange for daylight. I'm here to be your producer, and tonight we're unraveling a chilling mystery that's haunted Australia for nearly 6 decades, the Westall UFO encounter of 1966. Picture this, a quiet morning in Melbourne, hundreds of school children and teachers frozen in awe as a strange craft hovers above their schoolyard, defying all explanation. This isn't just a story. It's a mass sighting that left an entire community questioning reality itself. Matt, are you ready to take us into the shadows of Westall?
Oh, Juniper, I'm more than ready. This one's got everything. Saucer-shaped crafts, terrified kids, and whispers of a cover-up that'll make your skin crawl.
Right.
I can't wait to dig into what those witnesses saw that day.
I knew you'd be all in for this one, Matt. All right, listeners, buckle up for a journey into the unexplained. Over to you, Matt, in 3, 2, 1...
Welcome back to the Shadow Frequency, where we chase the shadows that linger just beyond our understanding. Today we're stepping into the eerie morning of April 6th, 1966, in Clayton, South Melbourne, Victoria. A day that would etch itself into the minds of over 200 students, teachers, and residents who witnessed something impossible. The Westall UFO encounter is one of Australia's most compelling paranormal events. A mass sighting that defies logic and lingers like a cold mist in the memories of those who were there. It was around 11 a.m. during a morning break at Westall High School and nearby Westall State School. The air was warm, the sky clear, when a student burst into a classroom, voice trembling, shouting about a flying saucer outside. Science teacher Andrew Greenwood, a self-proclaimed skeptic at the time, brushed it off until the child's panic convinced him to step outside. What he saw stopped him cold. A silver-gray disc-shaped object, about twice the size of a family car, hovering silently over the school's oval. It wasn't alone. Some witnesses, like student Colin Kelly, reported seeing not one, but 3 objects, a larger craft flanked by 2 smaller ones, moving in ways no plane or balloon could. They tilted, shimmered, and glided without a sound, their metallic surfaces catching the sunlight. The craft, or crafts, hovered for nearly 20 minutes, long enough for hundreds of students and teachers to spill out onto the oval, their eyes fixed on the sky. Some described the object as saucer-shaped, with a dome top, others as a cigar that seemed to thicken when it turned, revealing its underside. 5 light aircraft, possibly Cessnas, appeared, circling the objects as if in pursuit, but every time they got close, the UFOs would accelerate, slowly at first, then with a speed that left the planes behind, vanishing into the distance, only to stop and hover again. Greenwood called it the most amazing flying he'd ever seen. Then the main craft descended, slipping behind a row of pines into a nearby field called the Grange. Students, desperate for a closer look, climbed fences and ran toward the landing site. What they found was chilling. Circular patches of grass, flattened or scorched. Some said boiled, as if something heavy and unnatural had touched down. One girl, Tanya, reportedly got too close. Some say she touched the craft. Witnesses claim she was overcome with delirium, screaming, and was whisked away in an ambulance, never seen at school again. That evening, friends visited her home, only to be told by a stranger that Tanya and her family had never lived there. The paranormal weight of this event is undeniable. Over 200 people, children, teachers, and locals saw the same inexplicable phenomenon. The consistency of their stories, The physical traces left behind and the eerie silence that followed point to something beyond our understanding. Was this an extraterrestrial visitation? A glimpse into another dimension? The witnesses, even decades later, remain adamant. This was no illusion. Their fear, their awe, their certainty. It's as if the shadows of that day still cling to them. Juniper, this one's giving me chills. The idea of hundreds of kids and teachers all seeing this craft and then that girl vanishing is like something out of a nightmare.
It's wild, Matt. I mean, an entire schoolyard staring at a UFO and then it just disappears?
Right.
Along with a girl? It's the kind of story that makes you wonder what else is out there watching us.
Right.
What do you think the listeners are feeling right now?
Probably the same goosebumps I've got. All right, Juniper, take us to the break. Let's give everyone a moment to catch their breath.
Well, listeners, how's your heart rate after that? The Westall UFO encounter is the kind of story that makes you stare at the night sky a little longer, wondering what's really up there. We're only halfway through and Matt's got more to unpack about this haunting event, concluding a theory that might make you question everything. And if you're loving the Shadow Frequency, please hit that like and subscribe button and follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, and any podcast directory that you might be listening on. You can visit our website too at shadowfrequencypodcast.com, where you can find all episodes, check out our Shadow blog. Hey, you can grab some swag from our store. You can even leave us a voicemail, tell us where you're listening from. And if you want to support us, you can buy us a coffee on the site to help keep the shadows coming. Matt will probably buy pizza rolls. Now it's diving in the mailbag where we share your thoughts and stories. Stay with me while I reach over here and hit the button.
It's time for the Shadow Frequency mailbag.
All right, listeners, it's time for the mailbag where we hear from you, our shadowy community. Today we've got a message from John in Missouri. Here's what he wrote. Great podcast. Not sure how you guys find all these topics, but keep it up. The Shadow Frequency is my go-to for creepy, mind-bending stories. The way you dive in as a paranormal without judgment makes every episode feel like I'm sitting around the campfire with friends, swapping tales of the unknown. The episode on the Mothman had me checking my windows at night. Keep those stories coming. Oh, thanks, John, for the love. We're thrilled you're a part of the Shadow Frequency family. If you want to share your thoughts, you can drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. All right, Matt, back to you for the second half. Take us deeper into the Westall mystery.
Welcome back to the Shadow Frequency, where we're peeling back the layers of the Westall UFO encounter of 1966, a day that left an indelible mark on Clayton South, Melbourne. We left off with over 200 witnesses, students, teachers, and locals, staring at a silver-gray saucer-shaped craft hovering over their school, landing in the Grange, and leaving behind scorched circles and unanswered questions. But the story doesn't end with the craft vanishing. What happened next is just as unsettling. Within 40 minutes of the sighting, the area was swarming with military and police. Air Force and Army personnel rolled in, cordoning off the Grange. Witnesses like Andrew Greenwood, the science teacher, snuck past the barriers and saw a circular patch of trampled grass, guarded by men with equipment. Some say the military excavated the site, hauling away dirt in trucks. Greenwood later spoke to the press but was visited by two men, one in plain clothes, the other in an Air Force uniform, who warned him to stay silent, threatening his job. Other witnesses, including students, were told by the school's headmaster not to speak about the event, with some warned it could ruin their futures. Then there's the story of Tanya, the girl who allegedly touched the craft. Her disappearance, along with her entire family, feels like something ripped from a paranormal horror story. Witnesses like Terry Peck and Colin Kelly insist she was taken away in an ambulance, never to return. When friends checked her home, a stranger claimed no such family had ever lived there. It's as if the shadows swallowed her whole. The paranormal implications are staggering. Could this have been a government cover-up, hiding evidence of an extraterrestrial visit? Or was it something even stranger, a craft from another dimension, leaving traces that defy our physics? The consistency of over 200 witness accounts, the physical marks on the ground, and the military's swift response suggests something extraordinary happened. Even today, many witnesses struggle with disbelief and mental health challenges, haunted by an event they can't fully explain. But hey, as always, let's consider one skeptical perspective. Some, like researcher Keith Basterfield, propose the object was a runaway high-altitude balloon from the Highball Project, used to monitor radiation levels after British nuclear tests, launched from Mildura about 6 hours from Melbourne. A balloon could have drifted onto Clayton South, appearing unusual to untrained eyes. Yet witnesses like Greenwood, familiar with aircraft due to the nearby airport, insist this was no balloon. It moved with purpose, defying the sluggish drift of a balloon. Whether you lean toward the extraterrestrial or the experimental, the Westall encounter remains a shadow that refuses to fade. The silence from authorities, the missing records, and the vanished girl all point to a truth buried deep, perhaps too deep for us to ever fully uncover. Juniper, this one's got me looking over my shoulder. The cover-up, Tanya's disappearance, it's like the whole town was touched by something otherworldly.
It's creepy, Matt. The idea of a girl vanishing and the military swooping in like that.
Right.
It's giving me X-Files vibes. What do you think the truth is?
I think the truth is out there, Juniper, but it's hiding in the shadows. Over to you for the sign-off.
And that's a wrap on episode 152 of The Shadow Frequency, where we ventured into the haunting mystery of the Westall UFO encounter, a 1966 mass sighting that left a Melbourne suburb forever changed. From saucer-shaped crafts to vanished witnesses and military cover-ups, this story reminds us that some shadows never fully lift. If you want to dive deeper, visit shadowfrequencypodcast.com for all our episodes, our shadow blog with companion articles, and some awesome swag in our store. You can also leave us a voicemail to tell us where you're listening from, and buy us a coffee if you like. Thanks for joining us in the unknown, listeners. Matt, time to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Shadow Chasers. Stay curious and keep watching the skies.
Good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time on The Shadow Frequency.
This episode was produced with a commitment to exploring the unexplained while grounding our discussion in documented discoveries. All interpretations are speculative and intended for entertainment purposes.